Richard Arnold, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
So Biden, he's got some polling troubles.
He does. Looks like a tough week ahead for him, and it's starting out on this new low. His approval rating has plunged from, close to 70% down to 44% right now. Tough week also because the coming weekend will bring the 20th anniversary of the September the 11th attacks, just as we continue to hear about some Americans and US allies left behind in Afghanistan. You know, while most Americans were quite ready to quit Afghanistan, the polls show that by 2-1, folks who disapprove of the way it was handled. Fox News is full of reports about how the US could have and should have won the war, whatever winning the war was about after 20 years. Also, the coronavirus is spiking again. The number of new daily COVID cases here is 160,506 daily new cases. That is the highest it has been since January. That is affecting the economy again, just as people hope we were pulling out of the slump. Biden is voicing concern over the latest poor jobs reports.
I know people were looking, and I was hoping for a higher number.
Latest survey shows just 235,000 jobs were added. That is far lower than was expected. The president is blaming COVID. Consumer confidence has hit a 6-month low. Industries that rely on in-person trade obviously have taken another hit. One poll shows that 47% of people here rate their own risk of getting sick from the coronavirus as moderate or high. Even among partly or fully vaccinated people, the concern has risen from 32% to 52%. Still, a lot of the attitudes are split on political lines. This continues to be just a strange element of all. While some 80% of Democrats support vaccine mandates, around 60% of Republicans oppose them. When it comes to requiring masks at schools, that also is a battleground. 90% of Democrats support them, while 60% of Republicans oppose them. And there is a bizarre case out of Arizona where a young student was put into isolation for a time for COVID exposure, and the father and some others of this kid threatened to make a citizen's arrest of the school principal and arrived at the school with zip ties. The school now considering a restraining order against the father. So this country more divided than ever.
But the opera's back.
Well, almost. One place that has been shut down by COVID for the past year and a half is the Los Angeles Opera. It plans to reopen in a few days with a new production of Il Trovatore by Verdi. But because of COVID, the stage set and equipment, which was being brought in from Europe, has been stranded. The sets were supposed to arrive in LA 3 weeks ago, but shipping delays caused by the pandemic mean there are troubles at seaports around the world, so the opera sets are sitting in giant containers still out at sea, says Jeff Clayman of the opera.
They were diverted back to the open ocean to wait in a line of currently something like 38 other container ships.
Well, that's not going to work, is it? So they've had to build new sets, something that typically takes 6 months, they say, and to do it instead in 10 days. Meantime, the opera company has been rehearsing the work, including the famous Anvil chorus, which they sang some weeks ago online. So instead of anvils, you've got nail guns going there and electric saws 24/7 as the work is set to premiere now with fresh new sets, fingers crossed, in just over a week.
I like it. See you Wednesday, Richard. Richard Arnold, stateside. By the way, if you're thinking of moving to America, Vermont will pay you $7,500 to move there. Worker shortages. Wizard Oregon, I told you last week, McDonald's are hiring 14-year-olds. There are sign-on bonuses all over the place. Anyway, Vermont, which is a very nice part of America, new relocating worker grant. You've got to move to Vermont. You've got to get a job on the state's list of 50 occupations that are currently in high demand. And as far as I can work out, just about every job's on the high list. Cashiers, accountants, teachers, fitness trainers. Livable wage minimum $13.39, and they'll give you $7,500 back. Worth considering.